Hey everybody, welcome. It's great to have you here for something really close to my heart, raising amazing teenagers in today's world. Let's be honest, being a parent is a full-time job, and it can feel like we're juggling a million things at once. We're working, taking care of the house, trying to squeeze in a workout, and let's not forget about that little thing called social media that seems to consume all our free time. With all that's going on, it's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle and lose sight of what really matters, connecting with our kids. Remember those family dinners where we'd actually talk to each other without checking our phones every 5 seconds? Or those weekend hikes where the only screens we saw were the ones on our cameras? It's time to bring back that sense of togetherness, you know? Let's rediscover the joy of cooking healthy meals as a family, sitting down for dinner without distractions, and making time for activities we can all enjoy together. Trust me, those moments are pure gold, and they'll make all the difference in the world for our kids. You know, one of the greatest gifts we can give our teenagers is the gift of open and honest communication. It's the foundation of a strong and healthy relationship. But let's be real, getting teenagers to open up can sometimes feel like trying to get a cat to take a bath. So, how do we do it? First off, we gotta be good listeners. That means putting down our phones, turning off the TV, and really giving them our undivided attention. And here's a little secret. Sometimes the best conversations happen when we're not sitting face to face. Maybe it's while you're driving them to soccer practice or helping them fold laundry. Those everyday moments can be surprisingly powerful for connecting. Now, I know it's easy to jump in with advice or try to fix their problems, but sometimes the best thing we can do is just listen without judgment. Let them know that it's okay to feel whatever they're feeling, and that we're there for them, no matter what. And remember, communication is a two-way street. Just like we want them to feel comfortable talking to us, it's important for us to share our own thoughts and feelings with them too. Tell them about your day, your hopes, your dreams. Let them see that you're human, just like them. Of course, there will be times when disagreements arise. It's inevitable. But even in those moments, we can teach our kids how to communicate respectfully and find common ground. Remember, conflict can be an opportunity for growth and understanding. So, let's create a home where communication flows freely, where laughter is abundant, and where our teenagers know that they can always come to us with anything. Now let's talk about education. I think we can all agree that education is key. It's the foundation our kids need to build a bright future. But sometimes, school can feel like a chore, right? So how do we keep our teenagers engaged and excited about learning? Well, first things first, let's make sure they know that we believe in them. Let's celebrate their successes, no matter how big or small. Did they ace that math test? Time for a happy dance? Did they finally finish that science project they've been working on for weeks? Pizza party. It's also important to create a supportive learning environment at home. That means setting aside dedicated study time and minimizing distractions. And hey, who says studying can't be fun? Put on some classical music, brew a pot of tea, and turn study time into a family affair. We also need to stay involved in their education. Attend those parent-teacher conferences, volunteer at their school, and talk to them about what they're learning. Let them know that we're invested in their success. And you know what? It's okay if they're not straight-A students. Not everyone is meant to be a doctor or a lawyer. The most important thing is that they find their passion, something that lights them up from the inside out. Let's encourage their curiosity, support their interests, and help them discover their unique talents. Who knows? Maybe they'll be the next great artist, musician, or entrepreneur. Remember, education is not just about memorizing facts and figures. It's about developing critical thinking skills, fostering creativity, and nurturing a love of learning that will last a lifetime. Okay, let's be real for a minute, folks. Being a working parent is tough. It's like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube while riding a unicycle. Challenging, to say the least. But you know what? We can do it. With a little bit of planning and a whole lot of love, we can find that elusive work-life balance. First and foremost, let's prioritize quality time with our teenagers. It doesn't have to be anything fancy or elaborate. It could be as simple as having breakfast together before school, reading a book together before bed, or just hanging out on the couch and chatting about our day. And hey, let's not underestimate the power of family rituals. Maybe it's Friday night movie night, Sunday brunch, or a weekly game night. These rituals create lasting memories and strengthen our bond as a family. Now, I know it's easy to get caught up in the daily grind of work, but let's make a conscious effort to disconnect from our devices and be present when we're with our kids. Put those phones away, turn off the laptops, and give them our undivided attention. They'll appreciate it more than you know. And you know what else? It's okay to ask for help. Don't be afraid to lean on your partner, your family, your friends, or even a babysitter when you need a break. We're all in this together, right? Remember, our kids won't remember how many hours we worked or how much money we made. They'll remember the time we spent with them, the laughter we shared, and the love we gave them. Now let's talk about something that's deeply personal for many of us: religion. Faith can be a powerful force in a teenager's life, providing guidance, comfort, and a sense of belonging. If religion is important to you, it's natural to want to share those beliefs with your children. Introducing them to your faith can create a strong foundation for their spiritual journey. But remember, faith is a very personal thing. It's not something we can force on anyone. The key is to create an open and welcoming environment where our kids feel comfortable asking questions and exploring their own beliefs. Let's encourage them to talk about their doubts, their fears, and their hopes. And hey, it's okay if they don't have all the answers. Faith is a journey, not a destination. The important thing is that they're on the path, seeking truth and growing in their understanding. Now, if your family practices a particular religion, involve your teenagers in those practices in a way that feels meaningful to them. Let them participate in religious services, volunteer in your community, or learn about your faith's traditions. And you know what? Sometimes the most powerful lessons about faith come from living our lives with kindness, compassion, and love. Let's be role models for our children, showing them what it means to live a life guided by faith. Remember, whether our children choose to embrace our faith or find their own spiritual path, the most important thing is that they know they are loved and accepted for who they are. Family, right? It's not just about the people we live with, it's about the people who make our lives richer, fuller, and a whole lot more interesting. And that includes our extended family, aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, the whole gang. Introducing our teenagers to their extended family can be a wonderful way to create lasting bonds and cherished memories. But let's be honest, sometimes it can feel like herding cats. So how do we make those family gatherings a little less chaotic and a lot more fun? First things first, let's make sure our teenagers know who's who in the family zoo. Break out those old photo albums, share funny family stories, and help them put names to faces. And hey, let's not underestimate the power of technology. Create a family group chat, schedule video calls with relatives who live far away, or even create a shared online photo album where everyone can contribute. Now, I know family gatherings can be overwhelming, especially for teenagers, so let's give them some space to be themselves. Let them bring a friend along, set up a quiet corner where they can relax, or even excuse themselves for a bit if they need a break from the festivities. And you know what? Let's make those gatherings interactive. Plan activities that everyone can enjoy, regardless of age or interest. Board games, card games, charades, or even a good old-fashioned karaoke session can bring everyone together for some laughter and fun. Remember, building strong relationships with extended family takes time and effort, but the rewards are immeasurable. These are the people who will be there for us through thick and thin, the ones who will share in our joys and support us through our challenges. Let's talk about something super important: our teenagers' health and self-esteem. The teenage years can be a real roller coaster ride for their bodies and minds. One minute they're confident and outgoing, and the next minute they're feeling awkward and insecure. As parents, it's our job to help them navigate these choppy waters and emerge as healthy, confident young adults. So how do we do that? Well, it all starts with promoting a healthy lifestyle. And no, I'm not talking about putting them on a crazy diet or making them run a marathon. Let's focus on making small, sustainable changes that they can stick with for the long haul. Encourage them to eat plenty of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. Make sure they're drinking enough water and getting enough sleep. And hey, let's get moving together. Go for a walk, ride bikes, or crank up the music and have a dance party in your living room. Now let's talk about self-esteem. This is a biggie, folks. Teenagers are bombarded with messages from the media telling them they need to look a certain way, dress a certain way, and be a certain way. It's enough to make anyone feel insecure. So, how do we combat this? By building them up. Let's focus on their strengths, their talents, and their unique qualities. Let them know that they are loved and valued for who they are, not for how they look or what they achieve. And you know what? Let's teach them the importance of self-care. Encourage them to take breaks when they need them, engage in activities they enjoy, and surround themselves with positive people. Remember, a healthy body and a healthy mind go hand in hand. By promoting both, we're setting our teenagers up for a lifetime of happiness and success. Okay, let's get real for a minute. Teenagers, am I right? They can be confusing, frustrating, and downright baffling at times. One minute they're asking for our advice, and the next minute they're slamming doors in our faces. But here's the thing. It's not personal. It's just their brains going through a major growth spurt. The teenage years are a time of incredible psychological development. Their brains are literally rewiring themselves, which can lead to all sorts of interesting and sometimes challenging behaviors. So how do we navigate this confusing time? By understanding what's going on inside their heads. First things first, let's remember that teenagers are still developing their impulse control and decision-making skills. That's why they might do things that seem completely irrational to us. The good news is that with time and experience, their brains will catch up. Secondly, let's be patient. I know it's easier said than done, but try to remember what it was like to be a teenager. We were all there once, and we probably put our own parents through the ringer. Give them space to make mistakes, learn from them, and grow. Thirdly, let's keep the lines of communication open. Even if they don't seem like they want to talk, let them know that we're there for them. Listen without judgment, offer support, and try to see things from their perspective. And hey, don't be afraid to ask for help. If you're struggling to understand your teenager's behavior, there are plenty of resources available, like therapists, counselors, and parenting books. There's no shame in seeking guidance. Remember, the teenage years are a time of tremendous growth and change. By understanding the psychological development that's happening during this time, we can better support our teenagers as they navigate this exciting and challenging stage of life. Well, that's all the time we have for today. We covered a lot of ground, didn't we? Remember, being a parent to a teenager isn't always easy. There will be ups and downs, twists and turns, and moments when you want to pull your hair out. But through it all, remember this: you are not alone. We're all in this crazy, beautiful journey of parenthood together. So let's support each other, encourage each other, and celebrate each other's victories, no matter how big or small. And hey, if you need a good laugh, you know where to find me. Take care of yourselves, take care of your families, and keep on dancing.